Hello, hello, and welcome back to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Gerlock, and we are here with another episode today. This is going to be a solo one. I just wanted to, say this week has been tough for a lot of people. There's been a lot of stuff going on in this world that we all have to take a moment to reflect and say, look inward. Take that moment to focus on your mental health, focus on your physical health. Focusing on your physical health releases endorphins, which is, it will relieve stress. Everybody's so stressed these days. Everybody is in such a negative mindset. And I want the 5 Foot Strong podcast to be all about positivity. And I want it to be a place that we do focus on resilience. We do focus on courage. We do focus on the positives of situations and how we come out of situations, what it takes inside of us, what we can do inside of us to maybe make a better world. If we can be kinder, be nicer, be happier inside, maybe that can make a big difference in the end. Today, I wanted to talk about a reoccurring theme that a lot of our guest journeys have kind of incorporated, and it's the power of the small changes. And we often we get overwhelmed when we think of, prioritizing our physical and mental health. It's like, what do we do? These big dramatic shifts to improve our health, our mindset, or our lives. But the truth is, the little steps we take every day are the ones that we need to really focus on that add up to that true transformation. If you said to me all those years ago, you need to lose 100 pounds and keep it off for 10 years or 11 years, I would have been so overwhelmed, I wouldn't even have known where to begin. But, those little changes add up. I mentioned it in my book that first small change that I made was, I remember getting rid of drinking like lots of cans of sugar iced tea, sweetened iced tea. That was a big thing for me. And then I switched it to water. I was never a pop drinker. I never drank sodas. But that small change kind of was like, okay, I could do that. I could do something else. And those small changes added up to big results. The whole idea, whatever your big goal is, whether it be running a marathon or doing a Spartan race or, moving across the world or building a company, they all seem really intimidating at first. But with purpose, with passion, with resilience, with courage, all of that, you can make anything you really want happen. The problem is we always want to focus outside. The 5 Foot Strong podcast, we talk a lot about focusing inside, doing that work, that everyday work that adds up to big results. That saying like, hurt people hurt people. Well, it's the same as negative people bring people down. We want to be positive. We want to lift people up. We need more of that. You need to lift people up. And if you lift people up, that means that you're strong enough, you're resilient enough to help support other people's journeys as well. When I was 18, I was in a very negative space and I was not the nicest. I know that. I probably hurt some people's feelings out there, but I was also miserable inside. And so I know that my negative actions were a result of what I was feeling inside. So I had to build that strength, that resilience, that courage. That all adds up to positivity. That's what we want to do. What I mentioned before is that first small change that I made was like drinking more water. I also noticed that instead of having all that sugar from that iced tea and drinking more water, even my mood started improving, my focus started improving. And all those small changes made me want to try something else, make another change, get outside of my comfort zone to try something else because I clearly saw that things were not working. So I was not approaching myself. I did not love myself when I was depressed. I did not, I kind of avoided it. I used distractions to actually deal with root problems, which I should have dealt with a long time before. As I mentioned, I think in the last episode with Dana Godellis, which she's very inspiring to me, is those life is like a book. There's going to be different chapters. Doesn't just because you have one negative chapter in your life doesn't need to be a negative story. It doesn't need to be have a bad ending. You can always, if you want it, if you have the will, you can turn things around, and that builds that resilience inside of you. That's what makes you strong in the end of the day. Strong people don't hurt people. Strong people look at this world and try to say, how can we make it better? That's what strong people do. They say they believe in themselves and they want to inspire and motivate others to do well as well. And that's what I truly believe. A strong person is resilient. A strong person has to deal with a lot of struggles and to get where they are. They're not born strong. They have to be the decisions they made throughout their experience is what really makes them strong. So that's kind of cool. I also talk about mindset. That small mindset shift also helps with that, like stopping that negative self-talk, because we all have those voices in our heads, not like crazy voices, of course, but like, we all have our inner conscience, our inner thoughts. And a lot of people who are in a negative space in their lives will have that negative self-talk. They'll say you can't. They'll say you won't. They'll say no. They'll say it's not going to work. They'll think of everything possible to doubt themselves to not accomplishing what they want to accomplish. Somebody who has prioritized their mindset and somebody who has done the work to improve their mental health, they will stop that negative self-talk. That negative self-talk is not forever if you get out of the slump. You can change those no's to yeses. You can change those I won't to I will. You can change those I can't to I can. And that is the coolest thing. And to me, fitness and your mental health are both projects you could work on for the rest of your life. I'm not saying, you need to work out every day. I'm not saying you need to go to therapy every day. I'm not saying you need to whatever, journal every day. But just to make those small changes to try to change the no's to the yeses, try to change the negative mindset to a positive mindset really can make a big difference in every aspect of your life. Not just your health, but your relationships with others. People will want to spend more time with you if you are in a more positive mindset and you're not so negative and putting people down. People, yeah, navigate towards you more positivity. And we need more positive people in this world. I feel like every time I turn on the TV, there's something negative going on. And I really want that to take a minute to say, let's reflect in on ourselves. Are we happy? I know I am. But in general, are people really happy? There's a lot of stresses going on in this world, and stress can do a lot of funky things to your body. It also can do a lot of funky things to your mental health as well. It is really hard to navigate life, whether it be, the events that's going on in this world, the negativity. I just like, it's not even one thing. It's like, there's so many things that just, why can't, why can't we remember about the good things? Why can't we remember to love thy neighbor? Why can't we remember, We are all human. We all have things in common. We have probably more in common than we have not. There's so much divisiveness, but we need to get brought together. But the only way that happens is when we reflect in, when you look at yourself and say, are what you doing, are your habits reflecting on the lifestyle you want? It's kind of like somebody who wants to lose weight, but they're eating every night, binge eating every night, sugar snacks and soda pop. So your intention is you want to lose weight, but your actions are not proving that. So what your habits are your habits reflecting on what your goals want? Listen, I want to have a healthy body, a healthy mind. If I put, if I say, oh, I'm going to eat a pint of ice cream, does that habit reflect that healthy lifestyle? If the answer is yes, then go for it. If the answer is no, then reflect and say, well, maybe I shouldn't have that. And that could be in any instance in life. A negative activity, gambling, sex, drinking, drugs, shopping, anything that can be abused in that sense. Are those matching your goals in life? If your goal is to maybe save money, well, but you're going online shopping every day, well, your actions need to go with your words. And those small changes start inside of you. So I want to just mention 5 small changes that can make a big difference in your life and really affect the positive trajectory of your life and also your positive mindset. Number one is start your day with any kind of movement. Even if it's 5 minutes of stretching, walking, dancing around, cleaning, whatever it may be, that 5 minutes will change your mindset for the rest of your day. A little tip of advice is just keep a pair of running shoes right like by your door. So it's easy to get moving right first thing. 5 minutes, that's it. All you got to do is if you can't go outside, run on the spot, whatever you got to do, stretch, walk, I don't care, but just get your body moving, start that day with a good foundation. Number 2 is increase your hydration. I've talked about this before, sounds really boring, but small increases in water intake. Better skin, better digestion, better energy. Gets rid of that crave for, sugary drinks. Get rid of those. They're empty calories that aren't going to benefit you in any sense. Go for the water. I know it's not fun. It's not exciting, but it will hydrate you. It will do the job. You will feel better from increasing that water intake. Another tip for that one is use a marked water bottle or set phone reminders. Like every hour, drink a cup. I have a cup right here of water that I drink all the time. I make sure I have about, I would say 6 to 7 to 8. I don't even know how much water I have, but I make sure I stay hydrated, always have water nearby, and cut out those sugary drinks. They're empty calories, not worth it. Another small change that can make a big difference in your energy and your mood is one meal at a time. Let's don't get overwhelmed. One meal at a time, one upgrade at a time. Don't worry about, doing a whole overhaul to your whole diet because that seems very overwhelming. Just take one meal at a time. Just focus on making that one meal a little better each day. Whether it be cutting down your portion sizes, whether it be adding a vegetable, whether it be, baking instead of frying, whether it be, adding a protein, whatever it may be, one meal at a time and one upgrade at a time. Okay. Small changes. Let's break it down because those small changes make big results. And that is in any journey you're on, whether it be a weight loss journey, whether it be a fitness journey, whether it be whatever you want to get done, whether you want to improve your mental health, one change at a time. Okay, for a tip for your eating is add an extra veggie, or like instead of fries or whatever, or swap pop. Again, we talk about the drinking for sparkling water if you want the carbonation. But there are always ways to improve your meals, and just making those small changes so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you don't feel like you're on a diet, because that will last for a longer period of time and you'll be making it more of a habit instead of more of a chore. So that's what we want to improve on. Another small change to improve the mindset is that 5 minutes of your whole day, just take it to reset. Take that 5 minutes to do a whole mindset reset. You need to, whether it be, journaling, breathing techniques, square breathing, whatever it may be, a gratitude list, they can all shift your entire day. You just need to, again, switch that mindset to the negative to the positive. It's like a light switch. You just got to kind of turn the switch on. Set a timer, before bed, whatever you need to do. Write down 3 wins. Again, we focus on the positives. To focus on 3 wins from your whole day. So after your whole day, right before bed, write down 3 wins. Then I want you to look at those wins at the end of the week. And then at the end of the week, you're going to have 21 wins. That's a win. If you think more of wins versus losses, go for that. Again, it's whatever works for you. I know there's parents out there that, feel like it's just too much. Time is of the essence, whatever. But again, if you want to improve your health, if you want to improve your mindset, you will take that 5 minutes right before bed. Get into bed, have a journal beside your bed, write down 3 wins. It's not hard, doesn't take up a lot of time, and it really will shift that mindset to a positive mindset. Small changes, remember. Last small change I want to talk about is really protecting your energy. It sounds selfish, but those small boundaries can prevent burnout and, in the end, overall stress. Protect your energy. If something doesn't make you happy, don't do it. And I'm not saying, if you don't like going to school, don't go. No, no, no. As an adult, you have learned what makes you feel good and what makes you not feel good. And protecting yourself is part of prioritizing your mental health, protecting your energy, protecting who you socialize with, who you surround yourself with can make a big difference. If people are negative and you're trying to be positive, it's going to be very hard when you're surrounding yourself with negativity to go into a positive direction. Sometimes you need to take a step away from the negativity to realize you were looking for a more positive direction. And change can be scary, we all know it, but growth is something we learn about ourselves, and that's a good thing. Nobody can judge you for protecting your energy, for prioritizing your mental health, and putting up those small boundaries. They will help you in the end, whether it be work with burnout, whether it be everyday stress. It's important. And the number one tip of advice I can tell you is say no. It's okay to say no to one thing, a week that burns you out. We want you to be healthy for the longevity. We're talking about longevity. And if you're going to throw yourself in a million different directions and you're not getting true happiness and you're on a negative spiral, you're not going to perform at your 100% capacity. You are going to be your truest self and your most authentic self around the people who love you the most. So again, boundaries, important to protect your mental health. And these are small things that really will add up to make a big difference. The beauty of these small changes is that you won't feel overwhelmed. And whether it be my book, whether it be my podcast, whether it be me as a trainer, I've always made that a goal, is to not feel overwhelmed when you're approaching your health or weight loss, because it's going to be for the rest of your life. So I don't like yo-yo dieting. It's when you go up and down, and it really messes up your metabolism. So I'd rather you be in it for the long haul, but taking those small changes and not feeling overwhelmed at the end. Over time, they will create massive results. So you just got to kind of take the time, really trust the journey. Because I promise you, if you put the time in to prioritize your mental and physical health, those results will be there, and they will be what you do now. Like what I'm doing right now is going to affect how I am in 10 years in my 40s. And what I do in my 40s will, affect how I am in my 50s. And I want to be young. I want to feel young. I feel great as in my 30s right now. I used to hear when you turn 30, everything goes to shit. I feel great. I feel great. I have no aches or pains. My body feels great. My eating's good. I'm happy. So I could only keep going in that direction. If I keep, if I stay on that positive upward spiral that I've talked about many times, it really helps. And, all these small changes, again, I've kept off my over 100 pounds for 11 years now, and I feel fantastic. And it's never going to go back because I created healthy habits. And I didn't do yo-yoing, and I didn't do anything drastic, and I didn't get overwhelmed. I created small, healthy habits over time, and they built up to what I live as a healthy lifestyle now. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you give it a shot and trust the journey, I promise you, you will end up on the upward spiral at the end of the day. So my challenge for you all is to pick one of these small changes that I talked about. Either starting your day with 5 minutes of movement, drinking more water, upgrading your hydration, one meal at a time. Remember, focusing on improving one meal at a time, your 5-minute mindset reset, or protecting your energy. Focus on one of those small changes, and give it a try for the next 7 days. Give it a try. See how you feel. Really see if it improves your life in any way, because we have to give ourselves the self-care. And that doesn't mean just going to a massage or getting our nails done, but it's really to improve our mental health so we are resilient and strong to deal with whatever life throws our way. So that's kind of where I want to end today. Again, let's stay positive. Let's improve ourselves, work on ourselves to be happier, healthier, stronger, more resilient, more courageous, and love ourselves more, because in the end, how we are affects other people, and we want to live in a happier, healthier world that we are proud of. And, so I want you to flip that negative switch up, and I want it to be positive. I want you guys all to have a positive week. I want you all to stay strong. If you found this episode helpful, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. And remember, whether you're 5 feet tall like myself or 7 feet tall, we are all strong in our own unique and beautiful ways. Have a great day and stay strong.